are you feeling?
Feeling wonderful. It's May. We're back in the building. Guys are around having fun, playing football. It's a great time to be alive.
Where are you in your recovery right
Ah, coming along. Progressing as planned. Goal is to be back ready for training camp, and all signs point that I will be ready for training camp.
How long were you dealing with that specific injury last year?
Quite a while. I'd say kind of like week 9, 10. We took some MRIs of it and some stuff didn't show up. So we weren't really entirely sure what we were dealing with until I got the surgery. So that was a tough one. So we tried to, figure it out, but just things weren't popping up on the scans. And so just something that we were playing through probably for 10 weeks. It's fun stuff.
When you say we were playing through, you?
Oh, me in the training room. They tried, doing everything they can, to just help keep me on the field as much as I possibly could, try not to miss any practice and stuff like that. And they did a great job of that. And so it wasn't the most fun, but still could play at a high level.
Did you and Mooney discuss rehab process or going through the same thing together?
It was fun. He had surgery literally the week before I did. So it was just fun, hearing someone who had just experienced it too. Because if you have to get surgery, I like to do a second, maybe a third opinion, talk to different people who are doing it. And we ended up both going to the same guy, and he had great success for it. And so, went and did the same thing. And, it was a little different surgery. There were some similarities, but they had to reattach something differently for me than they did to him. So it's a little different, but overall, I think we're both progressing at a good rate.
George, you spoke last night at the State of the Franchise.
I did. Stuck me up there.
What is the state of the franchise right now?
State of the franchise? Got a really good roster, great coaches, great players, ready to win. I'd say that's the state of the franchise. Need to win now.
Is that a prevailing feeling we need to win now?
I feel like it has been every single year. That's your one goal is, to make it all the way, make it through the entire season, and then, get to the end and win. And, unfortunately, we didn't do it again. So it's just all right, going to climb the mountain again. This time we just have to win.
It just seemed like after that game and a couple days after that game, the Super Bowl, you took it really hard, maybe harder than you've ever taken anything in the context of your NFL career before. Well, what made this one so difficult for you, and how do you put it past you and move forward?
I'd say how I put it past me is, I'm still wake up every single day and I got to play football and I have another opportunity to go at it again this season. And, nothing I can do about controlling that. It is what it is. And unfortunately, I didn't achieve the goal that I have to win a Super Bowl, but I have another opportunity to do it this year. So does that suck? Yeah. But the fact that I have another opportunity with a fantastic football team, great roster, I'd love to again bet on my team. Not really, but figuratively speaking, of course. Why was it so hard? Multiple reasons. When you playing football is really hard to make it through an entire season. To be as healthy as you can be, to try to make plays. Every individual player has their own individual goals, but everyone has the same team goal. And so it's been a really fun team to be a part of. We have a great core group of guys, and just when you don't achieve that one goal that you really want to get to, it's tough. And I think back to Joe Staley played in 2 Super Bowls, didn't win one. Garrett Selleck played in 2 Super Bowls, didn't win one. And just listening to them talk about how hard it was, I get that now. I understand that. Just playing for 7 years, but you get past it because we have a fantastic roster, and I still believe in this team and the ability that we have to win.
What's the tougher part of that? Is it the physical side of bouncing back for multiple long seasons like that, or the mental side, or maybe a little bit of both?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think pretty good on the mental side of it. Like I said, I woke up today and my wife's happy and healthy, and I get to play football every single day. So I'm good with that. Physical side, yeah, you take a lot of hits. It's a long season. 17 games plus 3 playoff games. Yeah, it's a long season and definitely takes a toll on your body. So, and then you have a shorter recovery time. So, it's just kind of how you handle your rehab, how you handle your off season, and that prepares you, for July, August, and the rest of the season. So, there's a toll on it, but I'm still living my dream job. I'm playing football for a fantastic team, and I'm just excited to go to work every single day. So, I'm not less optimistic than I was last year or the year before that. I'm pretty excited still.
George, you're speaking of long seasons. NFL owners seem excited to make your seasons longer. What are your thoughts on playing 18 regular seasons?
18 games. Well, Well, I've been saying forever, I think we need 2 byes regardless. I think it's an incredibly long season. And, in my opinion, an extra bye, all it does is add an extra week to the season, more TV deals and stuff like that, more money on TV. So I think realistically, if you want to play 18 games, you're going to have to shorten something else somewhere. And they talked about taking a preseason game out, which to me doesn't really matter because I play in one preseason game a year. I think most vets do. So that doesn't really do anything for anybody. But, you still have to practice. You still have to go through training camp, gets your body ready for a long season. But, I think if you don't add 2 bye weeks, you're just going to look at the end of the season. You're going to look at a lot of teams who are missing a lot of key players because I think it's hard for players to stay healthy that long. I also think 18 games is it's aggressive, and the one thing that's nice about the 16 games is we're 16 or now we're at 17. We got into that somehow still. Just I feel like the football's better. When you're playing those games, I think when you get towards the end of the year, like I said, you just have a lot of injured teams, a lot of stuff like that, and you're missing out on good football. And also, if you get to 18 games, is the paycheck getting cut into 18ths, or is it getting cut into, are you getting more money because of an extra game? So I think there's a lot of things to discuss, but I'm all for adding 2 byes to the season just because that gives you an extra week of football regardless. So I'd hope they get that, and hopefully someday too. I saw that we were talking about getting rid of spring football and just going into maybe July a little bit, which I don't disagree with, but I just really hope they don't take away my July 4th because I thoroughly enjoy celebrating July 4th.
Not just the amount of games, but the schedule was rough for you guys rest-wise last year. 2 Thursday night games, a lot of playing teams after their bye week. It's kind of similar this week. Did you notice a difference? Did you feel that last year versus previous seasons?
I try not to think about it too much. I think when you do play 4 teams coming off a bye, they're all definitely fresh, and sometimes they're rusty, but I would say most of the time they're just pretty fresh and they're ready to roll. So I think that's tough, especially when you're doing that. If you're on the road versus a home team coming off a bye, I think that's pretty tough. But it's football, and we don't make the schedule, so it's just something. It's one of those adversities that you just have to deal with, and it is what it is. You just got to go out there and play football to your best ability. And I don't know if it's an unfair advantage or whatever, disadvantage, but it sometimes makes it tougher. But at the end of the day, you still got to show up and play on that day.
How is it having Trent Taylor back as a
Ooh.
teammate?
It's been fantastic. He spent all of OTAs living at my house, which was kind of nice because someone's living there, and just having a guy from the 2017 draft class has been fantastic. One of my best friends, training with him every single day, so being able to share a locker room with him again has been very fun for me, and being able to drive to work and stuff, it's great. And someone too that is incredibly talented at returning punts. He's always top 5, top 10 in punt return stuff, and always takes care of the football every single time he's back there. And hey, if you need him to run some good routes, on third downs, he does a really good job of that too. And the fact that he knows our offense too, so he fits right in. And him and Brock, I feel like I've had a decent connection so far going. So hopefully that continues to go. But yeah, just having familiar faces in the building is fun because I feel like this is a pretty new team. When I walk in the day, the entire D line's different. Nick Bosa's the oldest D lineman in the room, longest tenured in the room. And so yeah, a lot of new faces everywhere. But you still have a good core group of guys, and when you add Trent to that mix, it's very fun for me.
At the tight end position and his tight end position as a whole, Latu didn't get to play last year because he got hurt. Braden got to play some. What do you see in those 2 guys?
I think the tight end is very new. You lose Charlie Warner and Dwelly to the Falcons. 2 guys have done it for. Dwelly's done it for 6 years and Charlie for 4 years. And so when you lose that consistency, guys who are used to playing, guys who are used to the offense, there is a gap there that needs to be filled. And I think Cam has come a long way in his rehab stuff, and so really the most important thing for him is just get back on a practice field, and he'll do that during training camp. And he's doing a great job in the meeting rooms. He knows the offense. He's doing a very good job of just learning and understanding what our goals are. So hopefully he can take everything from that meeting room and apply it to practice, and he goes out there and plays at a high level. Braden has gotten way better since last OTAs, last training camp, last season. It's fun just to see him take these strides. He's figuring out the run game. He's a really good route runner, strong hands, and so they have all the abilities. It's just what I always try to say is you can't replicate reps. You need to go out there. You need to get as many reps as possible. So Braden getting a lot of reps right now is being very beneficial to him. We brought in Eric Sauber, a guy from my draft class. He's played a lot of football, so that's helpful. He does it the right way, works really hard, so that's kind of nice to see too. He's got a really solid player, and then Tungus is I think he's gotten better too, put on a lot of weight, put on some strength. So I think he has an opportunity to, surprise some people too. And then my rookie, Mason Pline, he's just figuring it out right now. Smart kid, picking it up. He's huge too, which is kind of fun, 6'6", like 250 plus. So that's kind of fun to see. But all in all, like my tight end room needs as many reps as they possibly can. So these OTAs are huge for them. And just looking forward to how they keep taking steps in the right direction.
With Jauan signing, I think he had like 19 catches last year, but how would you explain to people like his value? Because, if you just look at the numbers, you're like, well, what's the big deal?
Explain his value. I think every single person in NFL that watches tape, every general manager, every scout, anybody that watches tape, they look at Jauan's film and they're like, holy cow, this guy is one of one. His mindset and his attitude when he's on a football field is completely different. He goes to that dark place that Coach Shanahan would talk about with like Pierre Garçon, and he just is very violent in the way that he plays the game, which you don't see in all receivers. He will hit defensive ends as hard as he can. He'll hit linebackers as hard as he can. He's not scared of anything. And if you need him to win on a one-on-one rep, he's going to win on that one-on-one rep. He's got incredibly strong hands, and it's just when you can, for a guy that does it all, he runs the routes, he does the run game, he shows up every day, loving the game with a great attitude every single day. And then you get the game day and he makes all those plays. That's someone that you want to be in your building. It's someone that you want to pay. That's someone you want to reward because he's just going to keep bringing that every single day and he's just going to raise the standard of everybody around him. So when you have a guy like that does everything, it's great for us. Should they better? Otherwise, I'll have to fight all of them. They will be there, though.